The nature of life is that always we see the husk before we see the fruit. Always we see darkness before we see light. Like we see in the Torah when the world was created, it says Vayerev and then it says Vayevoiker. First comes darkness and then comes light. So every time we're going into a new spiritual reality, every time we come to a deeper level of realization, the first time we go into that realization, there's darkness. And why is there darkness? Because when we become conscious, we become aware on a deeper level, that level that we're becoming aware of, we've never cleaned, we've never worked on. So by default, it's been neglected, it's been unclean, and it's been under the influence of everybody else, of the herd, of what everybody thinks. And so when we come to a new realization, suddenly we notice, hey, this area is so not clean, it's so not the way that it should be. When we become aware of our problems, when we become aware of areas in our life that are not the way that they need to be, this awareness, this pain of realizing how it's not the way that it should be, that's what drives the change. That's what helps us become different. And so this is the same concept of elevating the sparks. Because we go into a new area in our personality, we go into a new area in our spirit that we haven't visited before, and we notice how disconnected it is, how inappropriate it is, how it doesn't really rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu the way that it should, how it doesn't really feel close to the people the way that it should, how it doesn't really feel close to itself the way that it should. So all these things, the awareness shouldn't make us feel down. The awareness should make us realize that now we're closer to resolving that area. Now we're on our way, that this awareness, this guidance, this pain is going to drive change, is going to drive something better. If we clean up a behavior pattern, then the areas in our life that are affected by that behavior pattern are now going to start looking different. And all our behavior patterns, ultimately, all our emotions, they tie into all the others. Everything affects everything. Everybody affects everybody. And so as we change things, even though it might seem little, to other people, to the events taking place in our lives, to the future that we're going to eventually become, all these things can have major shifts. And we might not even seem to notice that we've done much. To us, it might seem like, what, I only changed this and I only changed that. Not such a big deal. But if we look at the leverage that this little change has over all the behaviors, the leverage that this little change has over the future of that person, the spouse, the children, so every little thing, every tiny change is a big change. So this brings a lot of light.